Watch this video. I'm going to tell you about buying land in Southern Maryland and everything that you're going to need to do to make sure you're successful. What's up, everybody? I'm Rob Scout. I'm with EXP Realty here in Southern Maryland, and I want to help you make your move to Southern Maryland so much easier. If you're thinking about moving to Southern Maryland, reach out to me. Use that contact information below. Call me, text me, or use that the link in the first comment to schedule a Zoom meeting one-on-one with me. You can also subscribe to this channel, and you'll get tons of information about living in Southern Maryland. All right, so like I said, a lot of people choose to move to Southern Maryland, specifically St. Mary's and Calvert County, because they're looking for more land. And I'm going to talk to you about what it's like to buy a piece of land and then hopefully be able to build on it in St. Mary's and Calvert County. All right, so the first thing you're going to do when you're looking for land, obviously, you got to just go around and drive around and see which area feels right. The crazy thing about St. Mary's County and Calvert County is they can feel rural, but still be close to stuff all at the same time. So you got to go there and really figure out what areas work best for you. What areas are, rural enough or close to town enough for you, and then start narrowing those areas down. Lusby is a great example of a place that you can find some stuff that's away from city centers and still spread out, but you're close enough to those kind of town centers, not city centers, that you still feel like you're a part of something. In St. Mary's County, it's Leonardtown, Hollywood, Mechanicsville. Those are all areas to look at too. And so that's what you got to do first. You just got to drive around and get a feel for it. After that, the land search starts. This can be the most frustrating part of it because land listings normally don't come up too often on the MLS. We'll get a few every single month or so, but you don't see a lot of it. So it can feel like you're waiting forever to see something new. And a lot of times when you do see stuff that's on there, it's been on there for a reason, and it's almost like a not defective lot, but it's a lot that's going to take more money, or a piece of land that's going to take more money to build than others. So it just sits. But you want to go do your due diligence. You want to go out there and walk as many lots as you can, walk around, see the perimeters of it and all that kind of stuff to make sure after you've identified these areas that there are lots that fit your need in those areas as well. So you found the perfect lot near that area where you want to be, and what do you do next? There's two different schools of thoughts. You can just make an offer, not contingent on anything, and just run with the fact that you're hoping you're going to be able to build something on that in the future. That can be a big risk, especially if you're paying a premium for the lot and you're not even sure if you're going to be able to have a well or septic or the house you want on it. So I normally don't recommend that route at all unless it's a great deal and you think that if it doesn't work for you, you'll be able to relist it and sell it to someone else. Probably the most conventional route when you're doing this is to go into that lot and make an offer contingent on you being able to do what's called a feasibility study. Now, the feasibility study is just kind of a catch-all with everything that you want to understand about the lot, whether you can fit your home there, what kind of septic system, does it need a well, all that kind of stuff that you can get done. I've seen them as short as 30 days. I've seen them as long as 120 days. And it really is all up to the buyer and seller and the negotiation process for how long they want that feasibility study to be. Now, this is where having the right agent and knowing the right people becomes important, because once that feasibility period starts, when they accept that contract, you got to hit the ground running, getting as many people and contractors out there to give you bids or estimates or ideas of what this lot is really going to be able to do for you. So if you're looking to build a house there, you're going to want someone out there, like a builder or two out there, to give you an idea if your house that you want can even go on it, whether you're going to need a septic or a well, or maybe you're going to need septic and a well, or maybe you're going to be able to hook into public sewer, kind of run the cost of those things, how long the driveway is going to be, where the home is actually going to be sited. And sometimes the people that own the lot have done a lot of that work up front, so it can make these feasibility studies a little bit shorter, but not all the time. It's not one of those things that every single time you're doing these feasibility studies, you have information. You might be starting over at the beginning and really working your way to figuring out all of this information. If at any point during the feasibility study you realize it's not going to work for your needs, since it's contingent on that feasibility study, for any reason you can say, I don't want this lot anymore. You'd get your deposit back and you'd go on to the next. But let's pretend for a second that everything came back in the feasibility study and it was everything you wanted, everything you could ask for, the lot has, and you're ready to move forward. What happens next? Permits happen next. So the next thing you're going to do is, when you close on that property, you're probably going to have a builder or some sort of contractor in mind that's going to be building on this property, and you're going to want to start pulling permits. Calvert County can be a little bit longer with permits than St. Mary's County, but it really all depends on where the home is, whether it's in the critical area or other districts that may make it so permits take a little bit longer. And it's really best to lean heavily on the professionals when you're doing these kind of permits, because one mistake can really lead to a month or two of something happening and just taking forever. So lean on the professionals, pick the people that you know are going to communicate with you so you can be sure you're moving forward the way you want to move forward with that land. Maybe 3 to 6 months after the permits are submitted, you're looking at building, and building can take anywhere from 6 to 12 to even 18 months at time, depending on the size of the house, the time of the year you start, and all other types of factors. Be in constant communication with your builder. And I don't mean nag them. I don't mean be on top of them. Be supportive. Ask what you can do to help. Ask what you can do on the financial side for them. And just make sure you're working with them instead of against them. So everything's built and you're waiting for that all clear to move in. This is probably when you're getting a little nervous. You know, your payments are starting to rack up on your construction loan. You're starting to think about refinancing it all into one piece. Actually, on a later video, if you guys want, drop a comment below. If you want to learn about construction loans and how to get financing for these types of houses, drop a comment and I'll do a video with a loan officer explaining the process. But this is where everything's kind of coming together. One of the last steps the builder is going to need to get is use and occupancy, which is a permit saying the house is ready for you to move into. Then that loan will close and you'll be all set. But before that use and occupancy, a big thing has to happen. Go through the house with the builder before they get the UNO to get that punch list done. Go through, take some blue painter's tape and put blue painter's tape on everything that you need them to fix before you close on that home, so you know that it gets done before you close. Whether it's light switch covers or maybe there's some paint on some of the banisters or something like that, get in there, put that blue tape on there, walk through with them and explain why you want that fixed so you know it's done and you know it's done right when you go to closing. I know at this point you're probably so excited to get in anyway, so you're like, oh, well, I'll just take care of it when I get later. No, you're going to take care of it now and make sure the builder takes care of it, because that's what you contracted them to do. All right, and there you go. That's from beginning to end what the process kind of looks like. Now, of course, in each one of those steps, you're going to have little steps within there. When you're building the house, it's drilling a well, it's putting in a septic, it's doing all types of stuff, picking out landscaping, sod, grass, you know, siding, roofing, everything, picking out appliances, finishings. And it really depends on how that goes, really depends on the type of builder you're using. If you're using a custom builder, you're really involved in the process and can be almost overwhelmed with the choices that you have. If it's more of a track builder or like that typical, you know, packages and level builders, you might not have as many choices on there. Okay, so hopefully this information was helpful. If you have any questions about buying land down here in Southern Maryland, make sure you use this contact information below. Call me, text me, and I'd be happy to help you. You can also scroll down to the first comment, click the link, and it'll schedule a Zoom meeting one-on-one with me. And of course, click the subscribe button. It's going to keep you informed on what's going on in Southern Maryland so you know what you're doing when you come down here. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.